Good morning, afternoon, evening. It is Alexis Arcade, and today is a beautiful day. It's actually a beautiful day to be outside, but I am inside because, as you see on my chest, I have a baby. That's right, I have officially entered my Mama Arcade era, and I'm recording this. I honestly don't know if I'm going to post it, but I am now 8 weeks postpartum, well, almost 9 weeks postpartum, and this has been the hardest thing that I've ever done. I know I'm on here. I look crazy. I'm postpartum pudgy. I'm postpartum tired. I am postpartum depressed, literally. And I'm postpartum a mess. And as I've navigated this journey, I have had a really hard time seeing real representations of what postpartum is like. Anytime I've had a question about something, I Google it, which is always a bad idea, you know? Like, if you have a tummy ache, somehow you have brain cancer, or if your left leg twitches twice, you are dying tomorrow. And the same is pretty similar for baby stuff. If he's screaming for 20 minutes, everybody else's newborn has never screamed once in their life. Or if he's sleeping less than an hour during a nap, everybody else's baby naps perfectly and even sleeps through the night at 8 weeks old. It has been so hard. And I know I've got to stop Googling. Fortunately, my mother gave me a book that does not over exaggerate things and goes through the phases kindly and with more respect for the mother. But yeah, it's been really, really hard. And I just wanted to be a voice of, hey, this shit's hard. This shit is really, really hard. I gave birth almost 9 weeks ago, and I did not enjoy pregnancy. I know that's like a cardinal sin when talking about, having a baby, but I was so sick. I was battling pre-eclampsia during my pregnancy, and just sucked. I had a lot of pelvic girdle pain, and I had, everyone was like, ooh, what are you craving? And I'm like, nothing. Honestly, most things I'm disgusted by. I did maybe crave a little bit of ice cream, but I didn't indulge as much as maybe I should have. Anyway, yeah, I didn't enjoy being pregnant. I did not enjoy feeling him move around inside of me. That was the biggest thing that I was excited for postpartum, or was to not feel him. I mean, obviously to meet him, but I did not want to feel him moving anymore. And I'm thankful I don't feel him moving anymore. And my birth was traumatic, to say the least. I was 38 weeks pregnant, and like I said, I'd been battling pre-eclampsia, so we scheduled an induction for Wednesday, the 29th, I think, of April, if that's the right day. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I was scheduled an induction, but the weekend before, I'd had a headache that could not go away. Nothing I took worked, and you can't take the good stuff when you're pregnant, so I was only on acetaminophen every 6 hours, and it was not cutting it. So my family was over. I had made my rice and peas and some jerk chicken, and it was so good. But my headache, I was my eyes hurt. I was nearly throwing up. So I took my blood pressure, because I have a little blood pressure cuff at home, which I highly recommend for anybody in pregnancy or battling preeclampsia. I took it, and it was 175 over 115, which, if you know anything about blood pressure, that is absurdly high. So I called my doctor, and they were like, yeah, you need to come in. So I went into the hospital. It was 11:30 p.m. by the time I got there, and they were like, you're not going home. You're going to be having this baby. So they admitted me. And here's where the timeline gets foggy, and it gets foggy because it was not a fun birth. I think, did they start the Pitocin that night? I don't remember if they started the Pitocin that night or in the morning, but either way, they started the Pitocin, and, in the morning, so Monday morning, They gave me this balloon thing that's supposed to soften your cervix. And when I tell you, that was the most uncomfortable thing. They put it up your hoo-ha. It's fun being a woman. And I was throwing up from the pain. I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't stand it. And I had gone up to, and they kept saying like it'll fall out when it's done softening your cervix. So I don't know. I went to the bathroom to just have a pee, and it came out, thankfully. Because I don't know if I could. It was like maybe like 3-4 hours it was in there. It was miserable 3-4 hours. Then they checked to see how long I had, or how far I had dilated, and I'd only dilated like 6 centimeters or something. So they upped my Pitocin, and my contractions started. So like I could start feeling my contractions, and my water broke. So they gave me an epidural, or I opted to have an epidural, and that thing was incredible. All the power to women who want to have a natural birth. I have no judgment. I think you're an absolute rock star, but that epidural, that was nice. So I started the epidural, which meant I couldn't eat though. Funny tidbit, because I'd had like pre-eclampsia, I was on a blood pressure cuff, and it was taking my blood pressure every 15 minutes. And my stepdad had brought sandwiches, because we weren't sure when I was going to have the baby. And I opted to not eat deli meat during my pregnancy, because they say you're not supposed to, but I mean, who follows the rule book that closely? Well, I did with deli meat, because I have already my hand was cramping. Like if I have a Jersey Mike sandwich, 1/4 of the time, I'm going to have a bad time. I don't know what it is about, like maybe their slicers don't get cleaned well or something, but it rocks my world. So I was like, I'm going to avoid sandwiches until I give birth, because I had already, my GI tract was messed during my pregnancy. Let's just say that. So I wasn't going to chance it with a sandwich. So all that being said, going back to my blood pressure cuff and sandwiches, my stepdad brought sandwiches, and my mom and husband were in the room, and it was like 9 o'clock Monday night, and they were hungry, and they opted to get their sandwiches. And at the same time, I kid you not, at the same exact time they opened their sandwich, the blood pressure cuff took my blood pressure, and it went off. It like would ding when my blood pressure was high, and my blood pressure spiked at that exact moment, because I smelled their Italian subs. And the nurses come running in, and they're like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" And I'm just sitting there like near tears, like, they just opened their sandwiches and I can't have one. It's so funny. Like, it could not have been more perfect. And then they took it again, like immediately, instead of waiting the 15 minutes, and I was fine. It just spiked because I smelled a sandwich. So it was all fun and games until Tuesday morning. Or let's see, Monday night they checked my cervix again, and I was only 8 centimeters dilated. So early morning on Tuesday, they checked me again, and I was still only 8 centimeters. So what they did was they cleared the Pitocin from my system, and then they started it again. Or maybe that was Monday night, and then Tuesday morning they checked, and I was still only 8 centimeters. That sounds more right. Yeah, I think that's what happened. And I apologize. You'll understand why everything's foggy momentarily. So come Tuesday morning, I was still only 8 centimeters dilated, and I'd been in labor for over 24 hours at that point. Fortunately, I had that epidural, so I was good. But, at that point, it was too long, and they were like, we don't know if he's resting in a weird spot that's not allowing you to dilate correctly, or maybe there's just something going on, but we'll just do a C-section. And honestly, like, I had no birth plan. I did not want to be induced, though. That was about the only thing that was on my birth plan. But I had to, for his and my safety, and that's totally fine. And as far as the C-section, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I had no qualms either way. So they were like, all right, well, at like 11, whatever, we'll do the C-section. And this was at like 9 something, because they had to get all the doctors and everything ready. And I had, I think, a bit of a panic attack, because, you spend all this time growing your baby, and they're like, hey, your baby's going to be here in a couple hours. I was like, oh my God. So I prep for that, and we go off to surgery, and only my husband was allowed in the room. My mom wasn't allowed in the room, obviously, but that's okay. She stayed in my hospital room. So we go in there, and they what did they do? They used my epidural for my like to numb me for the C-section. It was so crazy. Like, they have a curtain during a C-section, and I could see my bottom half, but I could not feel a darn thing. It was the wildest feeling. And I barely remember being in there. I think we were in there like 40 minutes total. And I don't remember it. After the fact, I was told that I lost nearly half of my blood. I hemorrhaged on the table. I lost like 2,600 milliliters of blood, which is like allegedly half your blood. And I had to have blood transfusions when I came back to my room. My mom said that I was so ghostly pale, it terrified her. And that was not fun. I remember they gave me some drugs before I went into the ER that made me throw up. And then they gave me something after that was also making me throw up. But the thing is they couldn't lift my bed after the surgery because of my blood pressure, because my blood pressure was all over the place. So like I was on like laying flat, like trying to throw up, and like I was numb. So like I couldn't really, it was awful. Like of all the things I remember, I just remember like I need to throw up. And they gave me like a vomit bag, but like trying to throw up on your back is near impossible. I was like half out, and I'm like trying to prop myself up, and I don't know. It was not a good time. And like half that day I don't remember. I know that, what do I know? I don't know. I remember my anesthesiologist was a rock star. The woman who did my epidural was a rock star. Like, I had such an incredible team. I'm so grateful. And my doctor was a rock star. I loved her. Basically what it came down to, and why I hemorrhaged, was my uterus apparently didn't want to work properly. She said it wasn't contracting, and they had to put another balloon up there to help like my uterus. She called my uterus leathery, which I find offensive. Like, I'm not that old, but my uterus was leathery. And if any of you understand, like back in the day when you had a C-section, you weren't to have a vaginal delivery after birth. But now with modern technology, they do something called a VBAC, which is vaginal birth after cesarean. Before my C-section, my doctor was like, if your next child is small, smaller than this guy, you can do a VBAC. However, after my surgery, she was like, you're going to have a scheduled C-section next time because your uterus is stupid. So that was not a good time. And because of all of that, I had a really hard time bonding with my baby. Like I said, I had no plan for my birth, except I didn't want to be induced. However, if you could have had like a storybook of everything going wrong, that's basically what happened to my birth. And he came out perfect. He's totally healthy. He's fine, which is all you could ask for. But I was out of it. For the next 2-3 days after I gave birth, I was completely useless. My husband and my mother took care of everything like the angels that they are. And the nurses at my hospital were absolute angels as well. But I just I had such a hard time. And also, we were trying to get me to breastfeed. And here I am recovering from everything. And fortunately he latched right away, which is not normal. It can be difficult to get babies to latch, but he latched right away, which was awesome. And but my milk wasn't your milk, I guess, is supposed to come in a couple days. It's not immediate. But I was able to get him some. And about my third day after he'd been born, they were just like, he's not getting enough food. Can we supplement with formula or donated breast milk? And we were like, yeah, that's totally fine. So we began supplementing while my milk was coming in. And then on let's say I was admitted Sunday, I left the following Friday. So come Friday, they just kind of ship you home, and they're like, here, you just went through a really traumatic situation and crazy abdominal surgery, but have a baby, go home. Women's maternity care in the United States is absolutely insane, but that's a whole other argument. It's really radicalized me, but I digress. So I come home, I have this baby, and honestly, the first 2 weeks, he was an angel. I was also trying to breastfeed and pump at the time, but my milk was in short supply, so we were still supplementing. Come week 3, postpartum, I was just like, I was pumping baby drops. I saw my hospital's lactation consultant, and she was giving us tips and tricks. So I tried again going into week 4, and I just wasn't producing, and I said, screw it. I was not expecting breastfeeding to be as stressful as it was. Because my plan, I did have a plan for breastfeeding. I wanted to pump and then bottle feed him. Because while I was in the hospital, like I said, he was latching, but oh my God, were my poor nips in bad shape. They hurt so bad. They were bleeding, and I know there's proper ways to get them to latch, and eventually they would have toughened up. But I didn't enjoy that. So I was like, it's fine. I'll just pump and we'll bottle feed him. But I couldn't do any of the above. And so he's on formula. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay. Everything that I went through is okay. But I'm making this because I'm so frustrated that you rarely see these stories, or everybody's like, my birth was great, I'm breastfeeding, I'm a milk machine. And I'm like, well, I couldn't make milk. My body went through something traumatic, and it was just like, I don't want to, which is fine. He's formula fed. As long as he's fed at the end of the day is the most important thing, and he's getting that. Poor guy, though. We were using the Kirkland brand formula, but he's a real gassy boy, just like his father. And I don't know if it was the formula or just because he's a baby, but he was kind of colicky. So we switched his formula to the Similac Total Pro. And he's still gassy. So maybe we're going to try to switch back to the Kirkland because it's so much cheaper. The Similac is so expensive. But anything to help him, right? If I have to keep paying for it, I will. That's neither here nor there. But this is for moms, what I've been trying to do. And I use little gas drops. I'm not sure if they actually do anything, but anything to help. And funny story, I just called my pediatrician because the last couple days, he's been really upset, really colicky. And I was like, can you give me something over the counter for the gas, or can you recommend something over the counter, or give me a prescription? And she was like, you're not burping him enough. That's a whole other thing, but I digress. Where were we before I got on this tangent of breastfeeding versus formula feeding? Oh yeah, my milk wasn't coming in, and that's okay. But I've also cried almost every single day since I had him. Honestly, maybe not the first 2 weeks because he was a little angel, but come the 3-4 week mark is when the switch happened, when he would just cry and cry and cry. And he still does. Well, knock on me, the last week or so, he's only cried for maybe an hour at a time. But there were days and nights where he just wouldn't cry and he wouldn't sleep. He does not like to sleep. So this right here is at least he doesn't like to sleep during the day. Let me clarify. He will sleep at night. He usually I'll put him down around 10. He'll wake up around 2. He'll go down around 3, and then he'll wake up around 5 or 6. And if I don't put him on me to sleep, he doesn't go back to sleep. He might be a contact napper right now. I don't know. We'll sleep train him, get him back in his bed when he's a better age. He does sleep in his bed, his first long sleep of the night, but then after that he sleeps in the pack and play in the living room, just because it's easier to the bottle making station. So where was I on that? Okay, yeah, so I've been crying almost every single day. I was officially diagnosed with postpartum depression at my technically 6-week checkup, but it was at 7 weeks. And that's been a heavy pill to swallow, literally, because they gave me drugs to mitigate my postpartum. So when I was 36 weeks pregnant, I went into my OB's office, and I was like, is there anything we can do to get me out of work early? Because I'm worried I'm going to get fired if I have to stay, because my patience is wearing thin, my anxiety is high, customers have been rude, my management is a whole other thing, I just can't do it. I had a bit of a meltdown, perfectly transparent. And that's when she was like, we need to get you on some drugs. So she did. And proud me was like, I wouldn't have taken them if she had tried to get me to take them earlier on in pregnancy, because I've never been on any sort of antidepressant. And I've always thought that I was fairly even keeled, and that not that I didn't need, I probably could have used them earlier, but I've always thought that I've managed my, AEAF lock. What did I do? Oh, something. Okay. Anyway, I always thought that I'd managed my stressors fairly well. But pregnancy hormones and postpartum has been a whole other ball game. So, when I gave birth, they upped my dosage by another 25. I started on 25 milligrams. They upped it to 50 after my birth. And then, at my appointment last week or so, they upped another 25 milligrams. So I'm on 75 milligrams. And I honestly, I'm not sure if it's working, because he's still been a little terror, and that's really hard, watching your baby scream and I'm assuming it's gas and there's nothing you can really do to help, is heartbreaking. And it's loud and really annoying. And when it's an hour, you're feeling like you're going to lose your mind. So that's not been fun. And so they upped my dosage, and everyone that's asking, is it working? And I'm like, well, I don't really know, because to be fair, I did start it before all of this. The reason I said yes to even taking the drugs in pregnancy was because I knew postpartum was coming, and I was like, maybe I will need help. Stop being proud, take care of yourself. So that's why I took them. And that was, like I said, literally a hard pill to swallow. But here we are. I've been on the 75 milligrams for maybe like a week now, and I do think they're helping. I still have my moments. Like the other night, he was awful, and I wept while trying to get him to calm down. I had a meltdown in Walmart last week because I had $30 off coupons for formula. I grabbed the wrong formula. I went to exchange them, and she's like, you can't exchange them, you can only return them. And I thought if I returned them, then I wouldn't get my coupon discount. And so that made me cry, but fortunately it all got worked out. So but like little things, like I cried before pregnancy. I was a crier, but I feel like I logically cried. In pregnancy, I did not logically cry as much. Weird things made me cry, but postpartum, I've absolutely cried at everything. It's been a journey, and I have to, like, I wake up every day and I tell myself it's temporary. Like, it's been the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. It has been humbling. It has been just like, it's been a lot. I'm so grateful that my mother has been an absolute rock star. So is my husband. I would not have been able to do this if it weren't for them, because there's some days where I just want to crawl in a hole and disappear, because I feel so bad that I'm not managing well. That's why I'm and I can't keep a straight thought, as it would seem. That's why, like, social media has been so upsetting, is because everybody paints these pictures that everything's perfect. And I know that it's not, but like, that it makes it harder for women like me. Like, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm trying my best to not have my baby cry. I'm trying my best to, like, get him on a schedule and this and that. And, there's only so much you can do. And, yeah, like, where was I going? And this is so rambly, and this is so long. If I do post it, I apologize. But like, this is a real postpartum. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything, or, everything's perfect. Because that made me feel awful. Like, and it still does. Like, I still have to get over the fact that, like, it's not real. It's just what they want you to see. There's struggles that hopefully, maybe, I don't know. And not that I want women to struggle. That's not at all what I want. But, like, be realistic about what you're going through. Don't make it look like everything's perfect, because it's not. And it makes me feel bad. And last night, my aunt and grandma were in town. we went out to dinner, and little man was losing his absolute mind, and my mother took him and she walked him around. My mother is his little secret guardian angel. And she took him outside, and I kept checking on her. She was like, go sit down and eat. And like, I cried because I feel so bad that I can't get him to calm down. I feel bad that he's in pain. I feel bad that I'm causing my mother a disruption. I feel bad that I'm causing the people well, my mom took him outside because we're not the assholes who let a baby scream in a restaurant. But like, I have all of this guilt for all of these things that I shouldn't feel guilty about. The only thing I should feel guilty about if I was the asshole who let my baby scream in a restaurant. But like, everything makes me feel bad when it shouldn't. Like, at this stage in newborn, I'm just doing what I can to survive, and we'll figure out a schedule soon. He's too young for that now. Hopefully he'll get through this colicky phase and we'll get on the other side of it. It's just not been fun. I have not enjoyed it at all. Total transparency. However, I am very blessed to have a healthy baby, and he is smiling. Like, he's learning to smile these days, and that just absolutely melts my cold black heart. And when he's great, like, I love my baby snuggles. I love when he falls asleep. I love when we fall asleep together. I love dressing him. Everything that I have for him is dinosaurs. Oops. I've branched out and I've bought some elephants and fire trucks and stuff lately, because everything really is dinosaurs, but you can thank ARC for that, and my love of dinosaurs, which I'm really not sorry about. Of all the things, I don't think I'm sorry about it, but I did get him some other, because with my luck, he's gonna hate dinosaurs, because everything's dinosaurs. But yeah, so it's been one hell of a journey. And everything is temporary. Like, we will get through this phase. And there's going to be another shitty phase, I'm sure. It's not going to be easy any step of the way, but it gets easier. Everyone keeps telling me that at 3 months, it gets easier. Or, like, better. Maybe not easier, but better is the right word. And so we are almost 3 weeks out from that. And I am rooting for it, because I'm falling apart. Like I said, it's been humbling. I went into this like I had no expectations, but nothing has gone according to the plan I didn't have. It's been really, really hard, and I just want people to know that. Like, and I told my husband, like, I didn't want him to be an only child, but I don't want to go through all of that and all of this again. And they say every baby's different, probably, but knowing my luck, the next one will be worse or something, but that's not a now problem. That's a year from now problem, that I'll figure out. But if I post this, I want my fellow mothers, fellow prepartum, fellow pregnant women and postpartum women, like, we'll get through it. We can do this. Our bodies were built for birth, except for my uterus, apparently. We are designed to do this. Then again, I couldn't produce breast milk, and that's okay. Like, it's all okay. It's all going to be okay. We will get through it. But don't suffer in silence. Get help if you need it. And just, I don't know. It's all temporary. We'll get through it one way or the other. We have no choice. You have no choice to get through it. So I'm trying to be positive, trying to make the most of it. And it's okay if you have a little mentee bee every once in a while, or every single day. It is what it is. But yeah, is there anything that I've missed? Anything that I want to bring up? Oh, yes. And I've tweeted this. So if you follow me on Twitter and you've seen me talk about this, then you know about it. Also, I'm taking my hair down because it's pulling on my scalp and giving me a headache. One thing that my doctor warned me, but they didn't tell, like, nobody talks about it when you are postpartum. The night sweats after giving birth. Put a towel down on your bed because you are going to sweat through everything. I'm, like I said, almost 9 weeks postpartum, and I don't do it every night like I used to, but I still do some nights, and it is gross. So prepare yourself for that. Like, just waking up completely drenched in sweat. Yeah, so now you're welcome. Prepare yourself for that. Is there anything else that no one tells you about that I can think of? Maybe not, but don't listen to social media. Take care of yourself. Don't do it alone. Ask for help. Don't suffer in silence. I'm here. I'll be in my comments, just you can't take care of your baby if you're not okay. If you scream it and you need to put him down and walk away, do it. Obviously put him somewhere safe, but I've had to leave him in his crib or in his pack and play many times, and I've walked away just so that I can breathe. It sucks to hear them cry, but you cannot take care of your baby if you are hysterical or upset. And if you have a partner, make sure that they're there for you and you guys are working together, because you got to. And if they're not, then kick their ass and make them, or kick them to the curb. Either way, kick them in the ass or to the curb. And just know that my heart is with you. We're gonna get through it together. We're on this journey, this magical journey together, and we can do it. We can do hard things. We can do this. So yeah, that was over 30 minutes of me rambling about all this stuff that I feel is very important that no one talks about. And I just wanted to let other people know that they're not alone. And also, I know this is probably the worst camera work. My hands are shaky. It's on my iPhone that I'm recording it, but it's real. It's where I'm at right now, with my son asleep on me because I couldn't get him to sleep anywhere else. And yeah, so like I said, we're in it together. Leave comments if you need help, or if you have tips and tricks. And actually, I'm so over tips and tricks, because not every baby, nothing's worked, so love ya, but don't do that. It's like backseat gaming. Don't backseat parent. Except for telling me and telling moms that it'll be okay, it gets better, and take care of yourself. And if you know a mom of a newborn, go help her. Do laundry, change the diaper. Don't come to the house and sit there and be like, I'm gonna help you, and then don't. Go do her laundry. Even if you don't know where the washer and dryer is, find it, do it. Let her take a nap, do something, help them. I have become so aware of what my friends who've had babies have gone through, obviously, and I feel like such a shit friend. Granted, they're not local, so not that I could have done any of this to begin with, but like, check in on them, make sure that they're okay, like, just, and their lives are hectic, so they might not get back to you right away, but please just make sure that these women are doing okay. And even their husbands, because there's no support for husbands, and husbands just watch their wives go through this traumatic thing. They also have a newborn to take care of, Not every husband postpartum sucks. It's big on them too. And my husband has struggled watching me struggle. Bless his heart. It's not been fun for him to see me go downhill, basically, but he's been amazing, and my mom's been amazing. My whole family's been amazing. So I'm very blessed to have a village. I have a village, and I'm still a wreck. So, hormone dump, it's not easy. And I'm still rambling. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah, I hope if I post this that it helped at least one person to know you're not alone. Social media is fake, and whatever happens in your birth, if it's not what you planned, don't feel bad. You did what you had to do to have your little baby survive, and you as well. Don't be proud when it comes to that. Like, I had a girlfriend who didn't want to have an epidural, but she ended up choosing the epidural, and she felt really bad about it. Don't. You're not weak because you couldn't stand the contractions that suck, and then you didn't want to push out a baby out of your hoo-ha with, no, don't feel bad about any of that. You can do it. You can get through it. Every stage is temporary. We'll figure it out. Yeah, so I guess I needed this more than I thought to let it out. And yeah, so I don't know how to end this. It's awkward. Okay, bye.